why August 20th, and why Bacon Rebellion, why uh, Jamestown, why is that all important to the demographics of people? If we're going to get this healing, if we're going to ever get this therapy that we need to be.
Honor is the key word here. Um, we've had a lot of people within our bloodline, and and in other people's bloodline, who made tremendous sacrifices for us to have the opportunities that we have today. So this is why we honor the slaves that came before us, because we we have, like I said, we have opportunities that they never possibly could have had, and it was through their sacrifice that that gave us this opportunity. So we have. That's why we think about that, and this is a way that we have to say thank you. But not only do we say thank you with our mouths, and thank you not for being slaves or being or sacrificed, or thank you not for being slaves or thank slavery. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is thank you for the sacrifice, because at any given time they said, you know what, I'm not going to be a slave. I'm gonna die. I'll kill myself before I live like this. But they valued life so much that they endured, and they had enough hope to where they knew that one day it's not going to be like this. And we are the fruition. We are the children of it's not going to be like this. All right. So so like I said, is we have to take advantage of our opportunities, in honoring them, because these are opportunities they never had. Even up until, like I said, when I tell the story of my grandfather, who was a college educated man who could only get a job as a Pullman porter, making pennies and nickels and dimes. All right, he had to join the United States Navy and go off to World War II in order to increase, his in order to increase his marketability and skill set. All right, within this society, and he started to make more money, but still it was not enough to buy a house, to buy a business, anything like that. But you know what about Grandpa? Grandpa never complained. Grandpa just kept going forward and kept looking forward, because he knew that the people behind him, or the people who were in front of him, rather, um, or the people that were behind him, suffered much more. So this is why we commemorate August 20th, is so that now that we can get this mindset, say, all right, we think about them and we think about their sacrifices, and this leads into our next segue. What is it that we can do to honor our ancestors and take advantage of the opportunity that we have, so that we don't go through the things that they're going through, or the things that we're going through right now in the next 400 years? How can we make this world a better place, or at least America a better place for our children, grandchildren, and great grandchildren with the actions that we do today?
Flyer at the top, it says August 20th. I'm passionate about trying to say, if we're going to learn about our future, we need to learn from where we came from and where it all started. Not about what took place in Africa, but what actually took place right here on the soil of America. So when I think about Jamestown, Virginia, and I think about the history that's untold, and I think about that we are uniquely Americans. See that word, uniquely Americans. We're not just Americans, we uniquely Americans, because we were bred. Dr. Noah Shelton wrote the book, America's Little Black Book, about how we was bred, intentionally bred to be ignorant, inferior, and servited to the dominant European culture on the soil of 15 slave states. Okay, 15 slave states. You can look it up. It says the original 15 slave states. They're all there. And Kentucky is one of those slave states that we were proud. July the 3rd, 2017, we marched on the state capitol to acknowledge that we wanted to Kentucky to recognize our ancestors, that we were American slaves, and we wanted to remove color. Leads down to the bottom one where it says, I am absolutely no longer in the box of America. I'm no longer your Negro. I'm no longer the N word. I'm no longer American descendants. I'm no longer the African Americans. I'm no longer black. I'm ADS. I'm proud to acknowledge that I'm ADS. Uh, we need, and Joe, you did it, man. Joe, I love you, man. You don't get to decide what's best for us anymore. Yeah, I love what you wrote that at. They don't get to decide no more. We get to decide that. And our men need to be the one that decide that. Our women are looking for our men, husbands and fathers, to take the front row. Stand up. Be proud about who we are on this salt. On this salt.
We talk about individual. What's the man up pillars again?
Man up as an individual, man up as a provider, man up as a husband, man up as a father, and man up as a community leader. Those 5 principles are just ideal going into the 21st century and trying to do what's right for the next 400 years. What's right for the next 400? Man up, woman up as an individual. Man up, woman up as a provider.
With that in mind, if I tighten up myself, well, then the next person next to me that's around me, they might tighten themselves up, right? And then that's going to go from one individual to the next individual to the next individual. If I'm worried about myself and my family and focus on us and me and whatever, then we each one teach one, right? Is that what we're looking at when we say individual, Leonard?
As individuals, combat ready for life, all right, are you financially sound and intelligent enough to make good choices? Are you making good social choices, all right, and personal choices, moral choices, all right? What are you doing to get yourself ready? If you want to be involved in the change that you want to see happen in the world, what are you doing as an individual to get yourself ready? You can't be ready if you can be compromised. And how do you get compromised? Compromised by, not being able to pay your bills on time, not making enough money for this, being in poor health. I suggest, all right, just to start out, okay, of how to transform your life to where you are ready for whatever life throws at you, all right, and how you can be honoring your ancestors. First and foremost, you have to do an introspection and be honest about yourself. Where am I at? Do I make enough money? Do I do this? Do I do that? Could I do better? All right. Can I, and once you figure all of that out, then you say, all right, so what are 3 things that I can do this year in a calendar year, all right, to improve my life? All right. That could be open up a bank account, stop smoking cigarettes. It could be maybe lose 15, 20 pounds. Okay. It could be any achievable goal that you look at, 3 of them. And you got the whole year to do 3. All right. 3 of them, whole year. So if you do this, what you'll find is that often you could add another goal up in there. You say, oh man, I knocked these 3 out. Now I could add another one up in there.
And find out about therapy. Okay. You need to find out about, you probably have free therapy opportunities. Because it's really just the ability to sit down and talk through some stuff.
Right.
And we, as it's only been 150 years, I keep going back to that. It's only been 150 years since we've been out of slavery. So that's not that long. We're still learning some of this stuff. And
actually
now,
less than that, Joe.
Yeah, you're right, because it's not just, it's 150 years since they made the law, right? But
it took 100 years or so, right? It took 100
before they stopped calling us a boy at 60 years old, right?
Right, exactly.
So, it hasn't been that long that we've been able to walk around and actually feel free. But at the same time, there's many of us that are still stuck in the inferiority complex based on our trauma that we turn on the dumb box and see every day. They show us in the good and they show us in the bad, and they love to show the good going bad. So trauma,
we don't control
is what
the media.
We don't control it. But trauma is what is sold. Trauma is what they sell of us. That's what they take from us, and they sell that to the public in many ways.
It was a point that we didn't have. We were forced to be silent, and we were forced to be invisible, and we had to accept what the dominant European culture was doing to us culturally. This is not individual choice. It's still focusing on individual. We individually, as a demographic of people, we must get a handle on who we are, okay? And we do not have to accept the negative things that come out about us. We don't know. We don't have to turn on the negative stuff that comes on about us. We don't have to buy and purchase the negative things that are about us. When we're showing that it's profitable because we're purchasing and doing it, then we are our own problem because we're buying into
we're our own demise. So how do we get away from that? That's the question of the day, is how do we get away from that? A couple comments out there, and let's check this out. If your today is formed from your thoughts of yesterday, then you can safely say your thoughts today will be your tomorrow. If you want to know what your tomorrow looks like, look no further than your thoughts of yourself today.
But it's not too hard to ask three things. Go to high school, finish, it's free, get a job, literally a McDonald's job. That statistic is not getting a good paying job. That's any job, and wait until you're married to have children. Now, the problem is our culture, and it comes back to TV. TV is not promoting that message, are they? You know,
and that's where the fight is, because, you know, it's like, okay, you know, I think in pictures and visuals and stuff. So if I'm over here reaching to grab this person to pull them up, you know, but then they stuck over here trying to look at this dumb box. You know, you know what I mean? Or I grab them, we go out and we learn some stuff for the day. But then when they get home, they get back into that dumb box. Some people, you know, again, therapy is necessary to teach people how to take the trauma and put it in its place in their lives. You know, a lot of people have trauma people around them, and they don't know how to properly put those people in their place and get away from that. Because again, culturally in the melanated community, trauma is what is sold. That's what we sell to the world right now is trauma. And the baddies, you know, there are so many shows on television.
I'm a registered voter. I'm a firearms owner. I am retired. You know, I did the things that I needed to do to get retired and to make more money. I'm an investor. I'm an owner. Okay. Financially, I'm you know, I'm not a rich man by no means. Okay. But when things happen, I got the money to pay for some stuff. If some stuff breaks on my truck, let's get it fixed. I know no second thoughts about it because I got the money to do that. Right. Physically, I'm probably about 25 pounds down because I'm on a weight loss journey. I don't like to kind of say that, but I like to, you know, I don't like to say that because I like to let people say, oh, wow, look at you. You know, one of those things. But more importantly, more than just the weight loss, but I'm feeling healthy in my heart, my kidneys, my lungs, my internal organs are good. I'm getting the help that I need psychologically for the stress and trauma that I, you know, suffered from being a Desert Storm veteran. All of these things to get me to a place where I can do the things that make me happy, and I can be involved in the community to make the community a better place. Yeah, most definitely. I told you my 5-year plan is to start a homestead garden. All right, go get me a piece of nice little bit of land, start me a homestead garden, have goats and chickens and all of that. Here is a guy from Chicago that wants to go out and be a country man. I think that's in my soul from my ancestors. I can feel the need to be able to grow things. But while doing that, I say to myself, if I have an abundance, which I probably will have an abundance, I can give to homeless shelters. I can have children, you know, give to the school system. All right. You know, fresh grown vegetables and different things coming out of the garden, going to the school system or going to a homeless shelter, you know. So I got a plan. And that's the key right there is no matter what, have a plan. You can always adjust the plan, but as long as you have one, then, you know, you can move forward. And that's the key to moving forward is having a direction to go, a plan.
Absolutely, absolutely. And
the four things that I say that my mother done for me is, one, she didn't abort me. Um, my father, my actual father, wanted, they had me. They had sex, like Peter was saying, had sex before marriage, and then they got married after they had sex. So I was pregnant, but come to find out, my father did not want me. So my mother didn't abort me. Two, she gave me the name Mishon from my father's middle name, Mishon, and everything, and turned out to be a blessing to me because it helped me develop my character and everything. Growing up in Miami with the name Mishon and going a lot of different things, it's unusual, it's unique. The third thing she did is that I really thank my mother for this big time, okay? Because my mother had issues with religion. She didn't like the white man's religion. She seen her own father get mistreated because he could pass as white, and she seen her father get mistreated because my grandmother was tar baby black, okay? And I found out that my granddaddy only married my grandmother solely because that his family was passing as white in Louisville, Kentucky. I didn't even know they were from Louisville and everything. But my grandfather went to Alabama, found himself a wife, my grandmother, and married her, not out of love, but he wanted his kids he wanted his kids to be melanated, okay? To be melanated. And because of that, my mother hated religion. And so my whole childhood growing up and how unusual is this, to grow up in the 70s and 60s and 70s and you never attend a black church. For my whole entire childhood, I never attended a black church. I never knew what a black church was until I joined the military. So my mother kept me from the traditional black church.
But what are you doing? What have you done to make things better for you and yours as an individual moving forward?
Well, to get out, the last thing that my mother did for me is put me in the military. So those four things has helped me to do what I'm moving forward to do better for other people, okay? So I use the same exact things that what my mother did for me. One, I believe in pro-life. I believe that you should be married, okay? A person ought to be married, okay, before they have. Your individual responsibility is to be married and then have child. So that ties into the first thing that my mother did with me. Two, okay, is that bottom line is you should pick the religion that's educating you in your relationship, your belief in your creator. Bottom line. I teach that through God's Lives Matter. I believe that there is a creator, but you got to decide who that is, okay? You got to decide who that is, okay? And third, is only three things. And third, live your best life based on being the best provider that you can provide by creating a perimeter around your family. So that's what I've done. I created a perimeter around my family, and I live my best life based on how I'm able to provide for my family. I think if you're not focusing on being a provider for your family and putting a perimeter around your family and keep all nonsense out of it, then you are the problem. Specifically, if you are a man, you are the problem if you do not put a perimeter around your family and have. So that's my three things that I suggest. That's what I do.
So again, you have to be intentional. That's my word when I started 2022. You have to be more intentional about what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, what you're putting in your mind and everything.
Kind of look at why the Asian American community is the number one ethnic group in America. Look at that number. So African Americans watch 213 hours more TV per month. That's 40 hours a week, and roughly 57 hours more than European Americans. So think about that. That is incredible numbers. If you're watching TV 40 hours a week, that's a full-time job. And so Asian Americans, another statistics is Asian American kids spend twice as much time doing homework versus other Americans, and they watch half the TV. And so that is kind of the key to success. They're studying, proving, and I think that that's a simple solution. But you bring up a really good part about the boob tube. Well, I don't think we realize, because we're kind of like, the adage, remember the frog, if you throw a frog in boiling water, he'll jump out. But if you put a frog in, nice lukewarm water and keep on turning up a degree, that's like TV.
Yeah.
The more you get into it, that frog becomes a boiled frog. And I think we don't understand. Probably the experts do, but we don't want to admit it because they're the ones control media. They're not ratting on themselves, right? The TV is not going to come out and say, yeah, we're doing bad and harmful to people putting this junk on there, or radio or the music industry. They're not going to take it upon themselves, say, yeah, we're making billions and billions of dollars by dumbing down the American people and turn them into immoral rugrats.
Oh, we should do a national ADOS cut the damn TV off day.
Right.
I'm with it. Let's do it. Tuesday, because our show's on Tuesday.
Well, that's what I was thinking. We could highlight it Joe, we could highlight it on our show. Hey, it's 9 a.m. You remember No TV.
We'll highlight it the week before.
No TV Tuesday. That sounds good. No TV Tuesday.
There you go. The TV would be cut off by 11 o'clock every Tuesday.
Yeah.
All right. Well, no more TV.
Well, imagine if the TV had only financial empowerment courses, education. It can be a valuable tool, and
but that's how you push to make that happen. Is you create a movement, and you get as many people as possible to follow that movement, and that's how you push to make that happen. Is you say, okay, we're gonna create this national ADOS.
We can bring attention to ourselves, brothers, but this conversation here, y'all. I mean, I hope y'all not just playing. I think we could really.
I'm not worried about attention to ourselves, but I'm worried about our people's mindset and how we can focus on helping to correct that. So every, what we say, fourth Tuesday of the month, by 11 o'clock a.m., because you might have to get your news on or whatever, so you can know how to drive down the freeway.
I think for the whole week,
right? But
not just one day.
Well, I mean, you got to start small, right, Leonard?
Yeah, so you got to start small. But like I said, here's the key to that. Don't cut the TV off and then just look at YouTube or Snapchat or TikTok. All right, because now you're just getting your dopamine from somewhere else. All right, we need to get some new dope. Plain and simple, right? And this new dope got to be from reading books, reading articles, doing some work.
And self-improvement.
Anything that's going to take you away from, I'm not watching TV right now, so I'm ready to
yard work.
Yeah, things that you need to get done.
Anything that's going to move you and yours forward. And that could be yard work, home improvement,